Hi guys, tonight's video is going to be, well, this one in particular is going to be for the Divine Feminine with the collective consciousness. I've just been feeling a pull towards my fellow sisters, so I thought I would do a brief check-in with the weather, so to speak. Speaking of the weather, astronomically speaking, we do have the full moon coming up on spring equinox, which is March 20th. Guys, don't forget that's prime time for manifestation, planting those seeds that you wish to harvest this upcoming year. Especially, I'm working for Samhain. I like to do this as soon as possible. That's how I like to manifest. Guys, the decks that I'm going to be using tonight, here I'll start with what we're using first. One of my favorites, Flower of Life, Wisdom of Ashtar. We're going to use some clarification, get a little friend from our Divic, or get a little help from our friends in the Divic realm, Earth Magic Oracle cards, and then also the Goddess Guidance Oracle cards as well. I hope this message finds you safe and well. Everyone enjoying themselves. Love life. Love who you're with. Wow, the cards are jumpy. They're ready to go. All right. So again, this is going to be a message for the Divine Feminine. I'm going to give a couple scenarios with that too. Okay, inspired action. Get into alignment and your action will be enlightened and inspired. Different vibrations will inspire different actions. If you are feeling tired, your inspired action will be to rest or to sleep. If you are feeling love, you will be inspired to loving actions towards and outwards. Inwards and outwards. So you will be thinking and loving thoughts and doing loving things that will emulate the love in your daily life. Difficulties arise when we demand of ourselves things that don't match our current vibrations. Everything happens energetically before it occurs in the physically. We always manifest first in the 6D and then it comes down to our 3D. Get into the feeling you think you will feel when you have the thing that you desire, and your inspiration to create more of the same will come to you. Remember, ladies, it starts within that thought. I feel like a lot of people, a lot of the Divine Feminine, referring to my fellow sisters, it's like, we know that we're going through this. Not only are we connected on so many different realms to Mother and the Mother Spirit, and this is on galactic levels, multiple dimensions. We're in tune with not just that, but in particularly with the moon and with Earth, and we can feel all these changes and this enlightenment coming. And with that, I feel like there's so many of you out there that really, I'm just hoping you will step into your power, utilize your gifts. I'm just stepping across these platforms, but hey, it's what we got to do is get out there, right? And with that, thank you again, guys, for your support. So back to my sisters. I do use the jumper, so I want to pull what was readily waiting for you. Knowing, within you reside great treasures, vast reserves of strength, courage, wisdom, and compassion of love. Open your heart and acknowledge your treasures that live within, for this calls forth infinite treasures from out there. You have so much worth. Listen to the whispers from your heart, for maybe it's time to create the life that your soul has been nudging you towards. Become aware and sense your body. Connect deeply with your breathing. Imagine you become your breath as it moves into its own natural rhythm. Allow thoughts to float by your mind. There is no need to connect to them if you wish not to. Just feel all being, all as it is. This is where we become present, which is that gift. Open your heart and feel into the very beings of you. Move through your day and night in the presence of your knowing. Excuse me. And speaking of this, it's kind of odd. There was just a card that was stuck in here from the last reading. So I thought I would share this since it's sticking out here. And knowing, this is, I feel like, the Divine Feminine this is inspired action. This is like, Spirit's like, hello, come on, guys, let's get out there. So many, I feel like, at least along my journey, I've been, brought to this path, into this path, into this path. So I'm so spread out that I just haven't just jumped into my service work, which kind of helps that flow of law of attraction. At least that's what I'm finding out. All right, so with that, we have the inspired action, ladies. Get out there, use your divinity. Step into your High Priestesshood, that's what each of you are, your queens. Knowing, you know, this is your knowing. It says, speak the truth, listen well, have the courage to say what you need to say, be heard, but also read between the lines. So this one was just odd that it stuck in there. You know, I think that's so important that, and speaking of us females too, you know, we will sit there and we will kind of come in and out of the 3D realm, as far as it's easier for us to tune into spirit or go into what people will call a simple meditative state, you know, just figuratively speaking. But then we can also, it's harder for us to really get that, when it comes to that logical mind, in comparison to the divine masculine. They're more of an earth-based, you know, type of in-the-box type thinking, you know, more focused, detail-oriented, that type thing, in comparison when it comes to women and their intuition. The last one that popped out from Spirit, from the Flower of Life, Wisdom of Ashtar, is crafting. It says, gaze at your loving hands. How will you create and craft your life? Look at your feet and feel them on the ground. Now close your eyes and imagine that you see the earth coming from the perspective of space. How wonderful and beautiful it is. Green, blue, white, light, and dark. Infinite, endless stories being played out upon the earth. Be aware of yourself on the earth, playing out and creating your stories. Now see all of this through the eyes of your higher consciousness, your higher self. See the whole big picture from the perspective of space. Gently move closer and closer towards the earth. Feel yourself landing on earth and plant your feet in the ground. Intend that from this moment on, you will no longer feel bullied by life. Instead, you will create and craft your unique path. To me, this message is so potent because I feel like every step that we take upon this earth should be as if we are kissing Mother Earth, Mother Gaia, with the soles of our feet. So interconnected with that. And ladies, I'm sure you can relate to much of that as well. I do want to start with some clarifications on some of these. So with the crafting, you know, Spirit is saying, look, you know, it's endless. Look at all the abilities that you have. Every single person, you know, it doesn't matter, you know, yes, your astrological charts may matter, but, you know, everybody has that divinity in them. As within, so without. If you can't find it within, you know, maybe try reading something that you've always been interested in, and that will lead you to the depths or more in depth within yourself, leading more towards soul or spirit. Maybe that'll help you as well. All right, guys, this is from the Earth Magic Oracle cards. I just thought we get some information here. But yeah, Spirit was definitely telling us, Divine Feminines, you know, get that inspired action. You know, it's all about our vibration. You know, start our day with those mantras, routines, you know, the smoothies, those amazing nutrients, the breath work. Also knowing, you know, stepping into that divinity, not just talking about it or thinking about it, putting it into the calendar and not following through. That's something that I've been working on a little bit lately. And then crafting, you know, you are creators. Creating is a beautiful thing. All right, let's see what our kingdom says. It says dance, celebrate. Especially as a woman, I know that the Shakti, you know, is such an important aspect of the divine feminine life force, if you will, and the raising of the Kundalini without the spine and the chakras. And looking, as you can see, our ancestors, it was so sacred. Something that I feel still is very sacred. And again, that was on our inspired action. So, you know, maybe some of you ladies treat yourselves. Don't forget that celebration, you know, whether it be dancing. You have the Strength of the Mountain, and this is stepping out right after your knowing card, knowing what great treasures that lie within you, and the same as within, so without. So remember, don't forget to keep the attitude of gratitude, because that's part of our ownership and our divinity. And maybe once we start claiming those things a little bit more out loud, that's when we can keep bringing that ripple effect right back to us. With that mountain, the strength of the mountains. And the mountains are also very sacred, you know, when it comes to spending time out in nature. I think that's important, especially with the spring equinox coming around. I are definitely, I know I'm going to be doing some earthing It could be your bare feet, just simply, oh, wow. And I just spoke on that, you guys saw that. Use jumpers. It's spring equinox again. So yeah, let's be doing the earth thing. Mother Gaia's like, yes, it's time. She called it. You know, spend time out in nature. Don't forget to be kind to our animal kingdom. You know, protect them wherever possible. Trees, plants, guys. Get that. I don't know, when's the last time we planted a tree? We have so many events, and there's free community events. It's perfect and great. Free for kids that I think all might want to consider being involved. Thank you, Esther, for coming through on that one. Esther. It's very beautiful. All right. Grab one more in general. Now we're ready to move to the goddess. Usually they'll jump pretty quick when I'm ready to talk. So, ladies, this is going to be the Goddess Guidance Oracle cards. Excuse me. So we have our inspired action, our dance, you know, develop that primal, that female passion and drive, just the same as that reigniting that fire within of spirit, of that passion, of thirst of life. Knowing that you can move the mountains no matter how heavy and, you know, how big things may seem. You carry all the strength. You carry the strength. And don't forget about the spring equinox and planting those seeds, because that is right in your crafting zone there. So there's another reminder. Don't forget to charge your crystals for one on a full moon, spring equinox. That is very potent. Also for consecrating as well as imbuing your stones. If you're going to have any that you're going to use in ritual work coming up, Samhain, that's perfect time for that too. And we have Freya, bold. Unleash your adventurous side. Take risks and be daring. So this was an overall summary of some things. And that was just celebrating being you, being this divine feminine that you are, and all this beauty and all this wonder. I feel like there's more that needs to be said here. We're going to pick another one on the dance and the creative inspired action, please. Ladies, it's time. You know, we all know that we are part of this ebb and flow. We're all interconnected. I think that the more that we just start supporting each other as sisters, as divine women, the more we as the mother leaders, you know, so to speak, shall bring it back to balance. There's the scales and how it should be. Speaking of balance, this is my aunt. I've been really big, actually Travis and I have been really big into the principles of my aunt, and it is a state of being, that perfect balance and that calmness. You know, you see her wing the feather against the heart. It says, this situation will be handled in a fair and just manner. You see, there's so many different aspects, and metaphorically speaking, but this is kind of the law of the universe of keeping that ebb and that flow, you know, just to where everything syncs just perfectly, and that's keeping that balance, the balance of Ma'at. And again, you can tap into these through the Emerald Tablets. Travis is really great with that information, as well as the Hermetic Principles. You can reach us at Soul Healing Unity. I'll be sure to leave that extra link below. All right, I'm going to get another message, please. I'm sorry, that was for our dance. Keep that balance. So as we continue this dance of life, it reminds us to keep balance. So from our Goddess Oracle, I'm going to be pulling on our confirmation for our crafting and our spring equinox, which is rebirth. Planting those seeds. Ooh, here she goes. Isolde, undying love. The love you have shared is eternal, regardless of the situation. So this is definitely a sign of a forgive. And remember, guys, you know how spring cleaning, for example, that term is used so much. Guys, no, everything is a vessel, right? That's what represents the egg, the womb, the mother. And in that, it only has so much room, or it overflows, or it will break. And that it's always important that we clean out these spaces, whether it be in our mind, our ether body, our personal space, rearrange, get that feng shui, that energy flow. It's so important because we need to clear that vessel so that new things may enter our life, okay? And we can continue that growth. It says, the love you have shared is eternal, regardless of the situation. So those of you that have a heavy heart, you know, forgive yourself. Because you know you can walk away with that pride and that dignity. You know, speaking of Ma'at in those principles, and it's about virtues, you know, being virtuous, standing what you know is true, standing in your truth, in your power, in your divinity. And don't forget, everything is always ever changing. I do, for some reason, sorry guys, I wanted to go ahead and pull some of the Gilded Tarot. See what they have to say for us here. This is one of my absolute favorite decks. I learned, this is actually the first deck I've learned from 20 plus years ago. So let's see. So I want to get a little bit of confirmation on inspired actions. And we have dance, you know, so that's getting out, celebrating us. And when we can't find that draw, that inspiration, no, again, knock, knock, knock. Spring equinox is right around the corner. You know, pay attention to open those blinds. You know, dust everything off a little bit because you're getting ready to open those windows, get that fresh new air, the air of spring. That is a time of love and laughter and planting seeds that we know are well sown. With that creates our balance within our lives. So I do want to ask on clarification, how can we get that balance within our lives? And here we go. There's Two of Pentacles. So, and this, by the way, guys, this is the Gilded Tarot traditionally. Oops. It's very similar to the Rider-Waite. Okay, so to keep that balance, the Suit of Pentacles represents mind, body, spirit. It also represents coins. It could represent finance. It represents more of the earthly kingdom, and a certain aspect of the coins, as well as, you know, the star, the sacred star that our bodies extend to, or pentacle. That also could represent our physical health. So this guy, as you can see with the rainbow, and he's being very strategic in how he does it. Two of Pentacles is about keeping that juggle and that balance and that flow just at the right temper, That includes those emotions. You can see a little bit of illumination from the sun, so as well as your intuition. So it's keeping everything in both the spiritual, physical, and earthly 3D plane in balance. I do that with a lot of heart healing. You can do this with nature too. And that is representative of the heart chakra. A great stone for that is green aventurine. Serpentine is great as well as jade. Jade is amazing also. All right, so with Freya and the strength of a mountain, let's see, what do we have here? How can we do this? Knowing we have strength as these divine feminine. Spirit's been nudging us, it says, to realize our strength and be bold. Unleash our adventurous side, take risks and be daring. Excuse me. And out popped the Six of Swords. So swords is about it talks about our action, our thinking. It is also involved with air signs, maybe significant, maybe not. Also our throat chakra, which is our truths. The swords are about, again, that action, that thinking. But this is, when we talk about Six of Swords, we're talking about leaving something in the past. Leaving the old things behind. You know, you see she's cloaked, she's ready, and blue is in spirit. We got the full moon behind her, and you see that the waters, symbolic of emotions, are very calm. She's ready, she's steadfast. And that, you know, it's things may have been deep for a lot of you ladies lately, but it's okay, because tread these waters just slow at your pace, at your divine pace, and know that everything is going to work out in its truth. But don't be held back by these 3D illusions that people want to put out here and say what you are not, what you're worthy of. Who is the creator, right? Who is the crafter? That is you. You are the creator. Use your undying love that you've always had as the mother creators, mother divine, feminine force. All right, let's see. Wow, these guys are jumping already. All right, so I do want to get a clarification again on the undying love. So we have our crafting, we have spring coming up, so Spirit's reminding us, plant those seeds, create, do it out of love, forgive yourself, and no matter what, walk away with dignity, because you acted out of love. Okay, one of our jumpers, guys, we have Two of Swords. So some of you are going to be faced with a decision. Some of you are currently facing a decision. And Spirit is asking you to open up your third eye a little bit more. Unblock that heart chakra. Again, the Swords is all about thinking. So you don't just want to use your rational mind with whatever this decision making is that's happening here. You want to use your extrasensory perception, as well as unblocking that heart, because the most important space is from head to heart. But that's that perfect balance, balance of Ma'at that we were talking about with our polarities and dualities. Do you want to pull from some other decks? I just feel like the decks are ready to talk, so while I'm here, why not share the message and share the love? See, do you want to pull another one on the Goddess Oracle? It's Leap of Faith. All right, guys, so again, Spirit's ushering, look at the color purple with our crown chakras to ever expand, you know, that divinity is here dancing. You know, you can just feel that rhythm if you look and really look into the illustration. It says, leap of faith. Take a risk and put your heart's true desire into action. And look, this was for inspired action. You know, take time to dance and celebrate being you. Don't forget to keep that balance and then to, you know, juggle everything on the 3D plane, physical, mental, spiritual. But take that leap of faith. Don't let this 3D temptation or backdrop, so to speak, hold you back. For the next, we pulled the Butterfly Maiden Transformation. It says you are experiencing enormous change right now, which brings great blessings. So in that, and the knowing of all of this courage, this wisdom, compassion that you have, everything that's been sent to you as signs and whispers from Spirit, whether it be through your heart, through your body, through your mind, just wanting you to remember the strength that you have. You know, you have, remember, don't forget all of these mountains that you have pushed. Don't forget all these mountains that you have pushed. Alone, and then leave that behind. Look at that full divinity, full power in the full moon. And again, you had the Butterfly Maiden show up for you for transformation. This is also symbolic of transmutation. We need this to happen, especially when it comes to developing that balance between the head and heart space, using that intuition, but also opening your heart to where it's just not so guarded. Use those swords, you know, speak your truths, set those boundaries. But don't be afraid to transform. That's what you're here to do. Be bold, take risks, just as Freya always has. Some good stones for that, actually, is Labradorite, Manifestor Stone. That's a great one there. Another favorite is Charoite. This is another favorite. This one has a Herkimer diamond I had placed in here. But these are amazing third eye and Manifestor stones. If anybody's interested, let me know. All right, and then last we have Avesta. So this is going to be for our crafting our spring equinox and planting those seeds of undying love and walking away. Don't forget, we're clearing the clutter, right, with our spring cleaning. So leaving all those old emotions, attachments. I say attachments, take that lightly, guys. As far as all the ick that will reside in our auric bodies if we do not take care of them, and doing things such as grounding, meditation, crystal therapy, simple walks in nature. But do this and take care of yourself with undying love. Look at that divinity. Look at that and how you stand and how beautiful. And remember, everything comes in cycles, okay? So our last message from Spirit, from the Divine Goddess Oracle, was Vesta, home. Your household situation is improving either through a move or a healthy change in the occupants. So there's some seeds that already happened, sown here, and it's going to be coming into fruition in the spring. This is also going to be done with your undying love in the situation, all the seeds that you've already put forth. It's eternal. So your cycle's about to come to that end at spring. So those of you that have been doing your crafting and working, especially when it comes to your home relationships, know that Spirit is here with you in that golden frequency. So don't be shy, if you will, and step outside the box. And I say that because of all the orange and the yellow, representative of your sacral chakra and your solar plexus. Solar plexus is where your life force resides. It is the yellow, about 2 fingers underneath the middle of your ribs. And then you have your sacral chakra, which is just about 4 inches or so just below that. These are very important as far as your life force, your will, your power, and your strength. Speaking of, guys, I hope you enjoyed tonight's reading. I am always welcome to any comments, suggestions as I'm stepping out on these platforms, on any informational videos, product videos, anything that you would like to know about. Please let me know if I can help. I would love to be of service. Thank you and stay blessed. Namaste.